Good morning. Thanks for tuning in to another daily conversation about situations in everyday life. So let's talk about it. So today I kind of want to talk about how do we look at ourselves through our own eyes? Not through anyone else's eyes, but through our eyes. How do we view ourselves? How do we value ourselves? This topic is a little, it can dig into multiple different areas. We can talk about how we view ourselves based off of our confidence in ourselves. We can talk about how we view ourselves based off of, what's become our viewpoint of ourselves because of what others has deemed us to be. Do we view ourselves that way? Do we look at ourselves in how we feel or how others feel? Sometimes I think about my journeys in life and all the different valleys that I've went through, and I think about a lot of major parts of my life, and it's like, I'm not even that girl anymore, right? Does that mean that I didn't look at myself for who I was back then? Or did I just grow into something else? Or was this really who I was now in the core? But did I just elevate to this level or mature to this level? Or some may say disintegrate to this level, because you could have gone from here, which is high, to low. You could have gone from low to high. It's all about what you see. Because others may think that you're doing the worst thing possible for your life, and you could feel like this is the best thing I've ever done. It can be therapeutic for your soul, and others may not understand it. How do you live like that? How do you be confident because you know where you are, what you're living in, what you're trying to possess within yourself, and others may think it's the wrong direction? What do? Do you try to adjust to fit into others' normality of you? Or do you stand firm into who you are and be strong in your belief of who you are, no matter what comes your way? How do we even encourage others around us? Do we impose our viewpoint of them? Do we tell them what we want to see them doing? Or do we really try to observe their core and accept what we see coming? A lot of these things kind of shape how you maneuver in life. Like, I look at my kids and I'm like, sometimes I kind of tend to want to push what I see on them. Like, I think you're talented in this way, so you should do this. Or I think this is perfect for you, or you should do this. And a lot of times what we don't even realize is what people are showing us, or what we're even showing ourselves, is like a watered down version of what we really want. Because it's not what we really want to be. It's not who we're really trying to be. It's really us fitting into the box of what everyone around us. It's like, okay, my life would be better if I act this way. Everyone else around me would like me better if I present myself this way. Where it's like, what I really want to do, like the little kid on Instagram, when he's like, do you really want to know? Do you really? Like, sometimes you're like, do people really want me to be me? Because sometimes I don't think they can handle it, right? Sometimes I don't think we can handle us being us. Sometimes I really wonder when I see some things that some people do, right? And it's like, oh, I can't do that in public. Yeah, I can't do that, let anyone see me. Or, oh my God, I can't let no one find out that I've done that. Why? Why do we live in such secret? If it's something that you don't feel comfortable doing, then you shouldn't be doing it. But if it's something that you feel comfortable doing, then be you. What are you hiding? What are you trying to change? It's like, if I know who I am in the core, if God knows who I am in my core, why am I afraid to let the world see and know who I am in my core? Why? What are we afraid of? What are we really trying to hide ourselves from? What are we really trying not to let others see? Is it something about ourselves that we don't even really know? Have we really even investigated this part of ourselves? It sounds a little crazy. I'm investigating this part of myself. I think it's kind of cool, right? Because it's safer for like I call myself 007. Like, don't ever try to do something sneaky around me because I'm going to find out. I don't know why. It just is that way. It's just how it is. Even things that I don't want to know ends up finding its way to my ears, ends up finding its way to my inbox, or I get a phone call or a text, or it's like, I don't want to know. I always get the information delivered in my direction. I didn't ask for it. I don't want it, but it just comes my way. And I'm thankful for it sometimes. Sometimes I'm not. But at the end of the day, it's just knowing the truth, knowing what you want, what you desire, what you strive for. I think that is what we really need to ask ourselves. Like, what do we want? How do we view ourselves? When we look at ourselves in the mirror, what do we want? What do we want to see? How do I want to walk outside? That's why we have so many people. It's like, people are like, oh, we're in identity crisis. It can be in so many different ways. It doesn't, they like to put it on the fact of, people are in identity crisis. People don't know what they want to be or want to look like or want to. And I think it's also the flip side. You have people trying to be something that they are really not. That's also a part of identity crisis. You told yourself that this is what you're supposed to be. You told yourself that this is what, everyone's telling, oh, you're amazing at this. Like, I'm a jack of so many trades, right? And if I was to follow what everyone told me that I'm good at or what I should be doing or what I would be all over the place. I would be all over the place, right? It's not about what people see for you, right? Because you can have the ability to do a plethora of things, right? But maybe at some point, maybe at this point in my life, this part of me needed to be at the surface. And now at this point in my life, this part of me need to be at the surface. It's like you grow. Like, it's just like as a baby, you need your mom and dad to feed and take care of you and nurture you until you get to the point where you got to start doing it for yourself. And then in turn, doing it for your own children. So it's constant growth, right? So if we're physically growing like that, why do we think that internally and spiritually we're not going to grow like that? We mature in different levels in our life. So why do we think that we won't grow, right? With knowledge, you grow. The more you learn, you grow. You may realize that, hey, I like to look like this. I like to feel like this. I like my hair like this. I like my body like this. I like, it's just what you like. What do you feel is the best solution for you? What do you feel is the best way that you show up? What are the ingredients that make up the best version of you? You got to I challenge us all to do that. The same way we go and figure out the ingredients to make that coconut cake or that rum punch or that rum punch sounds good. But if we learn all the ingredients for our favorite dish, why can't we learn all the ingredients that we need to make the perfect me? Do we even know what those ingredients are? A lot of times we don't even know what we want for ourselves. We don't even know what we like. When I talked about it last week, I think, or the week before, the stage where I called smelling myself. It's like that was a period of time where I started to love on myself. I started to do pros and cons of me. I made a pros and cons list of myself. Try it. It's actually really cool. Like, what are all the pros about me? What makes me dope? And then what are all the cons about me? What are so annoying about me that I want to get rid of? Right? Like, not what others think of. What do you think? What do you not like of yourself? Do you not like how you look when you dress a certain type of way? Do you like how you look when you wear your hair a certain type of way? Do you like how you look when you talk a certain type of way? A lot of times we don't realize you get with someone and you start acting like that person. You start talking like that person. Start thinking like that person, opposed to you thinking like yourself. You get new friends, and you realize, time for me to get some new friends. It's like constantly recycling your atmosphere to just get to where you feel most comfortable, where you feel like you can shine, where you feel like you can soar. If you're not in that atmosphere, you might want to shift it up a little bit. Because the whole goal is so that you can become the best version of you, right? You don't want to keep living life and going through these journeys just to become what someone else wants you to become. Because that moment when you got to sit with yourself and love on yourself, when it's just you and no one else around, are you going to enjoy what you're sitting with? Sometimes I can just sit down, I can laugh at myself, I can entertain myself. Why? Because I love who I am. I'm still in a work in progress. There's still things about me that I'm trying to dissect so that I can become who I truly want to be. There's things that became, it's like we don't realize that things start to stick on us. You ever see that's toy that the kids have? It's like a sticky thing where you just throw it and it sticks onto something. I'm not sure what it is. One of you can help me out and message me and let me know what those are. But it's like these are the things that's how things in our life tend to stick to us. Someone say, hey, you're great at that. That's what you should think as a career point. You let that stick onto you. Now you're there researching. You're trying to figure out how to make this, how to do this, and then you realize you just wasted a whole 2 years trying to create something that you don't even really want to be. Or you started to work on something that you don't even really want to do. You just wasted all that time because you didn't take the time to really just sit in what it is that I want to do. Forget what everyone else is telling me to do. Sometimes people are telling you to do the things based off of what it is that you've told them because you weren't being honest. Sometimes people are telling you to do certain things based off of what they've seen, your track record. And sometimes your track record is crappy. It's not really the true version of you, right? Sometimes your track record becomes your resume when it shouldn't even be. Because my resume should be the things that I've attained within myself to be able to deliver, right? These are all the skill sets that I've attained and I'm able to deliver them, right? But your track record can sometimes not reflect that. Because your track record sometimes does not showcase the things that you have acquired and are able to deliver. Because sometimes your track record never allowed you to show what you acquired. It never gave you the option to deliver what you acquired because you were putting yourself in a totally different realm. You were involved in things that had nothing to do with the information that you were acquiring, the information that you were retaining so that you can be able to deliver it. You're not even in that field. You have so many people that went to college for one thing and they're doing something totally different. Or you have so many people that are doing something that they have no like love for. So it's like they're doing it. Yes, they're maintaining, but they're not elevating. Like it's doing nothing for their core. It's like when you go do a job and it's fulfilling because it's feeding your core. You know, like most doctors or lawyers or all of these people that go to so many years of training for their profession. Do all of them passionately love their job, or are they doing it just because my dad was a lawyer, my mom was a lawyer or a doctor, and it's part of the family trend? We all are doctors, we all are electricians, we all are contractors. But is it what I really want to do? You know, I heard Davido, African artist, talk about that, where it's like his father had a whole family business set up where he was already prepared to come and run. But he had a desire to take a message to the world via the vehicle of music. And he did all the maneuvering he had to do just to get it done. Still did what his dad requested of him, but still fed his passion. Now everyone around him sees his vision. Now everyone around him sees him in the way that he sees himself. That's our ultimate goal. All right? And sometimes that you may look at his story and say, well, you know, he had the option, or he had a cushion, or he had a... No, yeah, he did have a wealthy dad, but at the end of the day, it's all about choices. It's all about what, because he could have been like, I'm not doing what you're saying, and got completely cut off. But he did not do that. He went straight to his dad and said, hey, let's figure this out, and let's have a compromise, right? Sometimes that's what we got to do. Like, okay, I know that I need to do this, right? It's like me in my life. Like, I'm a entertainer by birth, and being an entrepreneur is just something that I grew up seeing my entire life, right? So I kind of just fell right into that naturally, because it's just a part of me. I have sub-siblings that are career driven, and some of us are entrepreneurs, right? So for me, it's like a lot. I have so many different traits that I possess, but my core, my core is fed in so many different ways. And I had to learn to feed it in so many different ways, because the reality of it is I have responsibilities, right? I'm not out here by myself. I'm a mother of 8. So you can't just keep living a pipe dream. You have to deal with the reality. So if your passion is not financially feeding you right now, what do? You find a balance, right? So I found a balance over the years when I decided to leave the music, because I wanted to raise my kids. I didn't want to be on tour all the time. So I took a hiatus from that. But did I leave it completely? No. I was still working jobs, started my own dance company, trained dancers to become top professional choreographers and dancers in the industry today. One of them are actually a signed artist touring the world now. And it's like, even though I had to face reality and go and get a 9-to-5 just to pay my bills so that I can take care of my children that I chose to bring into this world, I still found ways to feed my passion, and eventually will be at a point where it can solely be my passion that I'm doing to take care of my finances. And that's what you have to work towards. Finding what it is that you want, looking at yourself through your eyes, and pushing yourself to elevate to the best version of yourself the way you see it, not others see it. You may have to do certain things so that your livelihood is not falling down and falling apart, but still find a way to feed your core. Because at the end of it, the ultimate goal is for us to be the best version of ourselves in the way we see it and the way we feel best, because that's how we're going to show up at 100. Because if we don't allow ourselves to find a way to cultivate our passion in what we do every day, we're just going to be like emptyless souls just going every day. We're just going. There's no excitement. There's no joy. There's no purpose. And the only way you're going to be able to fuel those parts of your life is making sure that you find a way to find a balance with your core passions and what is needed for you to survive in this earth. So with that being said, continue to focus on what it is that you need to do to be the best version of you.